This episode of Nerds on Tap is brought to you by Castle Grayskull Renewable Energy, an Eternia company. By the power of Grayskull.
Why don't you give me fresh beer?
You serious?
All right, so hey, welcome to Nerds on Tap, where everything's made up and the points don't matter. I'm Drew Carey, and with me, as always, is Jan and Marsha Brady. How you guys doing?
You broke my nose.
I'm looking forward to when we have another guest and we have the four squares and we can do the Brady Bunch gag where we all look at each other in the
I feel like I
squares.
need to explain why I'm crying. It's because Jim kept fucking up the intro.
It's true. I did it like 4 or 5
and
times.
I laughed so hard I'm in tears.
Good. But no, for real, this is Jim.
I'm Chris.
Joseph.
Hey, that's good. If this is your first time listening to us, thanks for checking us out. And as we are recording this now, we actually haven't released our first episode yet. So I'm guessing by the time you hear this, you know us already and we're a huge success. And people like Will Wheaton are talking about us all the time and shit. So
Nothing good.
probably nothing. That new podcast is fucking terrible.
So bad
Whatever.
that they have to talk about us.
Hey, apologies for my audio being horrible in the first episode because it was terrible.
I think the
But I think
problem
we
was
fixed it.
it was because it was coming out of your face and mouth.
It's probably...
Oh, you fixed like a setting. Okay, I see now.
No, now I'm just talking out of my ass.
Perfect.
Yes.
It's an improvement.
So, all right, so let's take care of some business before we get to the meat of the show. This is Nerds on Tap, so we are always accompanied by some cold ones. So what are you guys drinking tonight?
I'm drinking Lake Superior Sir Duluth Oatmeal Stout.
Nice, that's good. I've had that before.
It's a local brewery here. It's actually not that far from my place either. But I bought it today after work and then realized I had to walk for 20 minutes after I bought it. And after 20 minutes, 6-packs get really fucking heavy. So that was pretty terrible. Luckily, drinking the beer is much more fun than carrying it. So
How is it?
That's why you drink it, because it gets lighter and it's easier to hold.
Yes, exactly.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good. I love oatmeal stouts, so I was pretty excited.
Sweet.
Yeah, I've had that one before. It's excellent.
Yes.
I'm drinking some Legion by Community that is a Russian Imperial Stout.
Holy shit, it's not backwards this time.
Yeah, you can read it.
Good job.
Yeah, we got it fixed. If I can get it lined up, there it is. And 9.9% alcohol, so pretty good.
Did you just see that shit? It was all blurry when he had the...
Yeah, he had it
went
too
back
close
into
to
focus slowly. It was actually kind of cool looking.
It's artsy. Fucking Gus Van Sant over
Now we
here
need
and
some
shit.
like orange light filters over it. Like Instagram filters, and then we are
There you
set.
go.
That's an indie film.
We'd all wear fedoras.
Then we can get the chick from New Girl to sing songs over it. That makes indie. That's an indie film, right?
Yeah.
So what are you drinking, Jim?
I got Dos
Corn.
Equis Azul. The reason I'm drinking this is because a coworker left it at my house. So free beer.
I love Dos Equis.
It's from he brought over a Mexican like sampler. So I got this and I got like Tecate
Nice.
or whatever. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But no, this is actually pretty good, the Azul. It's got blue agave. So that's how you pronounce it, right?
Agave.
Agave.
I think it's agave. But
No, it's agave.
I
This is
gave.
America.
I don't give a shit. I've never had that kind before. I've had regular Dos Equis, and I've had Dos Equis Amber with lime in it, which is really, really good. I've never had that one, so I'll have to find it.
This one's a little sweeter. I like it though. It's very nice. Not as good as that oatmeal stout. Kind of jealous of that one.
Yep, should be.
So kind of the big nerd news going on right now is that big Sony email hack that kind of leaked all these kind of inner details and behind the scenes of how Sony is mismanaging like all of these franchises. Basically, they really don't know what the hell they're doing, more or less. What do you guys think about that?
I don't, I didn't look too much into it aside from the obvious, the Spider-Man
Right.
stuff, which I was really excited about at first when I first started reading it, because they're like, oh shit, they've actually been in talks with Marvel about bringing Spider-Man into like the Avengers and stuff.
As early as Civil War, like they
Yeah.
really wanted him for Captain America 3. So
Exactly, which makes sense because he's like the pivotal plot point of that entire story. The only thing I heard that might be different is he might not have been in the traditional Spider-Man outfit. It might have been the Iron Spider suit that like Tony Stark makes for him, just because of something to do with like the copyrights, things like that. So it was kind of like their loophole.
Yeah, I guess it would kind of
But-
tie into Civil War that way, but it would be weird to see him in that right, like if they put him in that right away, like here's Spider-Man in the regular universe and he's already the Iron Spider.
I guarantee the way they would probably do it is before Civil War, they would stick him into an end credit scene of another movie
he would be on a stinger. Yeah,
where
one of the other ones.
something happens and you see him end up meeting Tony Stark, and that's probably
then-
where it would begin.
The world would collectively shit their pants because that'd be ridiculous.
I just did, so
Just thinking about it, just the thought of it.
yeah. The only thing, so all that news, but the thing that sucks is it sounds like, from reading it, it sounds like it's kind of fallen through and that they're no longer really talking about it, which I guess we don't know for sure. That's just, I think that's what's speculated, is that it's off the table now. So that really sucks because that was really exciting. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it seemed like near the end of the year emails, like it was more or less things broke down, and it seemed like in January they were going to do the Spidey Summit, where it seemed like that they were going to be talking about all the kind of stuff they've already kind of been on track for, which is them kind of making their own universe, but all based around Spider-Man characters. So that was
Sinister
kind of
Six.
yeah, they're just going to go in that direction, since it seems like they kind of wanted too much almost. Like they wanted to still have creative control and all that stuff. So I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, Spider-Man's a lot of money, but there was other emails too where they were lamenting the fact that they didn't feel like the returns were good enough, and they were kind of being like, "Well, what are we going to do?" Because it didn't really do what we wanted it to do, and yet they still want everything, and you would think they'd at least be able to give Disney like international distribution or something like that, or split it in some way. I don't know. They just seem like they still wanted too much control.
And yeah, it's weird because like what you said, if they didn't think that they were doing as well as they should be with Spider-Man, as far as returns and all that, then you would think that an offer like that from Marvel/Disney would be exactly what they want, because obviously Avengers is going to continue pulling in tons of money, so that would be the one thing that like, boosts their sales back up if they, piggyback off of that. So I don't know. I think it's weird that they pulled out of that deal.
No, I just
Yeah.
think there's too little to go on right now. It's all just speculation, and who knows what's going to happen with that. So I just haven't dug that far into it.
Well, the other thing that was interesting in those emails too was how much they're leaning on Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who do 22 Jump Street, and they did the Lego Movie, and they did Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs. Like they want them to write an animated. There was talk of an animated Spider-Man, like a full feature Spider-Man animated like comedy written by them.
Yeah, not a TV show, an actual movie.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An animated movie in like traditional 2D or CG.
They didn't say.
That wasn't specified. But,
Ah.
yeah. And then the weirdest email was them combining 22 Jump Street with Men in Black, and like the emails kind of leaned toward like everyone was kind of cool with that idea. Like they thought like I think there was an email from Chris Miller and he actually was kind of for it, which is kind of interesting.
You know, I could see that being really fun and kind of funny from like the Jump Street kind of angle, but from the Men in Black angle, I think that would probably kill their franchise.
Well, that's kind of one of the other things they were lamenting, of the fact that they have these two comic book properties with Men in Black and Spider-Man, and they weren't really doing what they wanted. So
Right.
I think they're kind of throwing everything at Chris and Phil and hoping that they can save it.
I think a way for that to be okay would be if IDW took it over and just did a crossover comic book like they've been doing with everything else, like Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles, and pretty much the whole Cthulhu world and Popeye, Ninja Turtles, Mars Attacks, and Popeye crossed over at one point. It's just a montage.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just a montage of things over there, but it's great. They're all awesome comics. It's like they would be terrible fucking movies or TV shows, but as a comic, as just a like one shot, they're great to read through, things like that.
I hate Mars Attacks. I will say, so I saw that when it came out in theaters, and at that time, I think we're all like the same age, so I don't remember how old we were then when it came out. What we were maybe like, we were probably like 11, 12, something like that.
Yeah.
That movie scared the crap out of me. Like I was like traumatized.
Well,
oh my
that's
God.
the thing. That movie that movie was adapted from something that had absolutely no story. It was literally just trading cards, like,
Right.
and there was nothing there. And actually, Tim Burton originally was going to do the one where dinosaurs just automatically they just appear, like just some sort of like time loop thing, and all of a sudden there's dinosaurs everywhere, and they're just straight up murdering people.
See, that sounds cool.
Well, they were going to do that, and then they heard that Jurassic Park was being made. So Tim Burton said, I would rather do, Mars Attacks because that's more my style. That's more the B movie style kind of a thing. So he went with that, and I'm sure, I haven't read the comic, Joseph, but I'm sure the comic is different than Tim Burton's Mars Attacks.
It's different, but I like the movie too. I appreciate it for what it is.
I do too. See, I'm gonna go on record. And this is gonna make us lose fans. I can't stand Tim Burton, but I like that movie. That's one of the exceptions that I make. But overall, I'm not a Tim Burton guy. I think
Jim.
he's very overrated.
I will admit, like the movies he does lately are pretty much crap.
It's just the same shit. It's so bad that he started remaking himself.
But
he did Frankenweenie, and that's a remake of his own movie.
It's true. It was a short that he did, and I think it was his very first one too. But I still love Edward Scissorhands, and I love Sleepy Hollow, and Big Fish. Big Fish was like my favorite movie for a long time. Yeah, especially because that one's way outside of the normal for him, because it wasn't like a creepy thing. It was just really like, it was kind of like a happy kind of movie.
Yeah,
and it was just really surreal.
I feel like if anyone else made that movie, though, we wouldn't care about it. You know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
Because it's such a departure for him. And you didn't say Pee-wee's first movie either, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, so you lose. But, incorrect.
Okay, the first two Batmans. You gotta like the first two Batmans.
Yeah. Well, me, yes. Jim.
Yeah, I see it. He's like fighting in his own brain right now.
The 89 Batman has its things, and when it came out, it's a cultural phenomenon. It's Tim Burton's Batman though, but it's not Batman. It's Tim Burton's Batman. So
I can say this. I don't like his version of Batman, but I like his version of Gotham City.
His Gotham City is awesome, and it's something that I wish was in. That's kind of like my main gripe with The Dark Knight. I prefer Batman Begins because Gotham was a darker like Gotham, and then he did away with that because he was more interested in making like Chinatown, like a crime drama, but with Batman in it. So I don't know.
I agree. Well, I think that's part of the appeal to the Tim Burton movies, and that's my appeal, is just the look of them. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of the movies of his I like that the stories probably aren't that great if I actually pay attention to it. But from being like a I mean, I'm a graphic designer by trade, so having been like an art student and being on the visual side of things, like his movies appeal to me a lot more than most others just because of the specific look he has. Like everything's just so surreal and dark, and I think that's probably why I like his movies, I'd say. So that's how I forgive him.
They're definitely pretty artsy. I really enjoyed actually Frankenweenie. I thought it was pretty good. Even being a remake or whatever of his one of his original shorts, like I think it was really good. Did you ever see it?
It's probably good. My bias made me not see it. I just at this point I'm so sick of his shtick. And I understand what you're saying too, Chris. His movies are very visually interesting. He's kind of been doing the same thing. He's kind of been leaning on that.
Yeah.
I think that's what bothers me though, is if he was just a production designer, he'd be an amazing production designer. But as a director, he doesn't really seem to care about like story and acting and not putting the same people in a movie over and over kind of a thing. So I think that's kind of what pulls me out. Yeah. I can only see Johnny Depp be weird so many times. I'm tired of it.
He's used Johnny Depp way too many times. I can say like there's some movies that you can tell he really cares about the story, and there's some that he doesn't. Like Big Fish is, I mean, completely like story centric, and I think that's probably his best film, which I think technically is because I think that's the only one that's won like a crap ton of awards. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think if he didn't have that visual style, then I don't think he'd be anywhere.
Yeah.
He would definitely not be the name he is.
So moving away from the movie itself for a second, what do you think of I guess if you put the Batman side by side, like which is your favorite Batman actor?
George Clooney. No. Totally lying. Someone else go first.
Or if you don't have if you didn't like any of them really, who would you prefer in that role?
Kevin Conroy.
Yes.
Kevin Conroy is the best.
He's
Batman. I mean, he's Batman. It just says Mark Hamill is the Joker. That's the Joker.
Yep. Right.
To me.
Right.
And I watched the Batman animated series. I do think it's pretty good, but I'm not like a super fan who owns it, but I understand. I see that version and I'm just like, yes, like I still believe that the best adaptations of any Batman that's not a comic book is still the Arkham Asylum and Silent video games. Like those are it, because they keep in everything that makes Batman Batman.
Yeah, right. He is definitely the voice of Batman, Kevin Conroy. In any iteration I see him, if it's someone with a different voice, it takes me a little while to adapt to it. Mm-hmm. And even then I'm just like, okay, just this once I'll accept it. But I always, because we grew up with it like that, that's how I always see Batman. It's how I always hear him. And anytime I'm reading him in a comic book, that's the voice that I'm reading it as, basically.
He doesn't overdo it. It's just enough. It's someone who would kind of disguise his voice a little bit, but it's not so much where it's to the point where it's ridiculous.
Right.
So who's somebody that you would like to see as Batman? I just thought of one, and it's not... I wouldn't want to see him as Batman to actually enjoy the movie just because it'd be hilarious, but Steven Seagal playing Batman would be the funniest goddamn thing ever.
Maybe if he was playing Dark Knight Returns Batman, who's a little chunky and pretty old.
Oh yeah, I'm talking fat Steven Seagal.
Right.
Batman.
Right.
Could you imagine? He's like, "Where's the Joker?"
She's like whispering.
Where's the Joker? It's like, dude, do you even have your eyes open? He's just... Where is he? Where's the Joker?
He's slowly turning into Marlon Brando, and not in a good way, in all the bad ways that Marlon Brando went insane at the end.
I'm going to tell you, the best Batman physically would be John Hamm from...
I can see it.
Yeah.
I know he gets brought up a lot, and I actually would prefer him as Superman.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. Like when I see when Alex Ross kind of draws Superman, I kind of see John Hamm in that.
Yeah,
I've had this argument before.
I could see it.
I guess for anybody who doesn't know, everybody should know, but for anybody who doesn't know, that's the guy from Mad Men and 30 Rock, or I guess his two biggest things. But I don't know, I just see him more as Oh, that too, I guess. I see him more just as a Bruce Wayne, and I think like like an older Batman, not Steven Seagal old Batman, but
Not like ridiculously fat and bursting out of his bat costume.
right. Utility belt just won't fit
This would
around
be
his waist
amazing.
anymore.
He wouldn't even wear it on his waist. He
No.
would just have it
Put
strapped over his
his shoulder. Fuck.
Utility bandolier.
Just on the subject, how do you guys feel about Ben Affleck?
At first I thought it was really stupid. Like I was just like, well, that's dumb, and then didn't really care that much. But I mean, the more I think about it, I don't think it would be that bad. Because I mean, the majority of Ben Affleck movies I've seen are the really crappy ones, and those are the ones that you remember.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember like really either really amazing stuff or really terrible stuff the most. And he's been in a lot of like okay movies and a lot of really shitty ones, but he's had some good ones. Who's probably the biggest Batman fan that anyone knows? It's probably Kevin Smith.
Right.
Yeah.
And Kevin Smith is like all over this.
Yeah.
So
If he said he was super excited for him, and just not only as his friend, but he sees that in him.
Yeah.
He's been in. Yeah. So I think if Kevin Smith signs off on it, we're in good hands.
Yep. I agree.
I think though Jared Leto is Joker. I know we talked about this a little bit last episode, but that's going to be a tall fucking order. Since you brought up Heath Ledger, it's like, God, how is he going to compare to that? Like, what's he going to do to differentiate it?
He's gonna have to play it different, which I don't know if they'll do it because the one Joker was such a success. I could see them trying to steer him more to be that way just because they know that sells movies. But I think if for like hardcore fans, if he wants to actually pull this off and do it in a way that Twitter doesn't kill him, he's gonna have to do something completely different with it.
I think out of respect for Heath Ledger, they might stray away from repeating that performance. Yeah. And I don't think as an artist, because he's an artsy guy, and he's method. I don't think he'd be interested in doing the same thing over again. So
right. I'd also agree with that because it's not the Nolan verse that we're in anymore. This is a completely separate universe. So it's going to be and rightfully so, it's going to be a separate Joker, and he'll put his own spin on it. I think it's going to be, I'm hopeful for it. I obviously can't say yet, but I think it'll be decent. So
now to the gimmick that brought us here. Chris, why don't you go ahead and spool up the Nerd Roulette, and while I explain what the fuck that is,
right.
People have no idea. So here on Nerds on Tap, we don't prep a topic and then spend hours going over notes. We want this kind of to feel like a freewheeling discussion, amongst friends with beer, because that's kind of what it is. So Chris has a master list that will now be randomly selected, and that would be the topic of the show. That means we don't know what's going to be talked about for the rest of the show, which is, part of the fun for that is like it's almost like NASCAR. You can enjoy it because there might be a terrible car wreck and we might fail horribly, and hopefully it'll be funny and entertaining because of how bad we fail. It'd be like if a car full of clowns crashed into, I don't know, a car that's the metaphysical representation of my current sex life.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
Hey, you hit it right on the head. That was where the script said insert joke.
Perfect.
So you timed it perfectly.
The tight-ass script that we're following.
Right. Yep. Until now.
All right. I gotta pause for a minute just so we can put the little roulette noise in because we have a roulette noise. Okay. So our topic is Super Smash Brothers.
In general?
Perfect.
That's all it says is Super.
These are really well thought out.
Yes, it's very well thought out.
That's kind of topical.
I guess that we can tackle any iteration of it, I suppose. So
I have a funny story about Super Smash Brothers first.
Yes.
So on my wedding day, Super Smash Brothers made my wife really angry. So we got married, and we got married in one town, and we were married in a park that was kind of in between her parents' house and my parents' house. So the
My
guys
wife
got
was
ready
there.
at what?
My wife was there.
That's true.
She was
She
the
got to
makeup
see
artist.
how mad she was,
Yeah.
which confused the other girl who was in it, but whatever. Because she thought it was gonna be her.
Oh yeah, she ended up leaving, didn't she?
Yeah, she left like right away. We're not friends with her anymore either, so whatever. So anyway, so the guys got married at my parents' house, or sorry, the guys got ready at my parents' house, and the girls got ready. The guys got married.
What the hell just happened?
I don't know.
Are we
Everyone
talking
got
about
married.
bears again?
Bears. So while we were getting ready, it took us no time to put our tuxes on because we're dudes. So we ended up playing Super Smash Brothers while we were waiting, and then the girls were getting ready, and my wife was getting her dress on, and we had the photographer going between the two houses, and I called Melanie because I wanted her to get a picture of all of us playing Super Smash Brothers, and I guess Melanie, the photographer, left and then didn't get a picture of Katie putting her dress on. So she was like,
"You playing Smash Brothers?"
yeah, it's all of us playing Smash Brothers with the fisheye lens, which is pretty cool. So like afterwards, she's like, "Would you pull her aside to have you take pictures of that she missed?" And I was like, "Fuck, shit, playing Smash Brothers on the Wii."
Oh,
What?
no.
It went, yeah. So that was bad.
That's perfect. That's an awesome story. Way more interesting than someone putting a dress on. Whatever.
Right.
I can say this, that Smash Brothers was the staple of both high school and college for me. So Smash Brothers for N64 was like all I did in high school in between, like, skipping school and playing in a band and skateboarding.
Dude,
And
you were
then-
the raddest kid ever.
Yeah. Oh my God. I had the holes in the ears, and I had the spiky hair, and I had a bracelet from Hot Topic. I was awesome.
Living the dream.
Yeah, I wouldn't beat myself up if I went back in time.
We all would. Dude. Fuck that kid.
And then when I got into college, when it first came out it came out on GameCube and then on the Wii, that was like literally all we did in between classes is we just would get as many people as we could, and we'd just trade off playing Smash Brothers all the time, and it was so much fun.
Who was your character?
I kind of navigated back and forth. In the first game, I was always Samus, because my favorite thing was powering up the arm cannon and just waiting for like that perfect moment to where the other person's had a lot of damage, and then you just squeeze one off right at the right time and just blow them across the map. Yes, that's what she said. And then once it got into like I kind of didn't do the GameCube as much, but with the Wii, I went for a lot of the heavy hitters. Like I went for Ganondorf and the big penguin guy and Donkey Kong. Those were usually the three that I would rotate with. Sometimes I did Kid Icarus, but I sucked at him, so yeah.
My characters were always I lean towards Bowser just because I love Bowser as a character.
Nice.
He's not the best fighter or anything.
He's real
but
slow. It's
yeah.
hard to do the slow ones.
But he's awesome.
But it's
Yeah.
just fun as hell to play, and then just stomping down from the air or doing that like ass stomp or whatever he does, and then killing people
Ass
like
stomp.
that. I don't remember if
hope
it's like
that's
on
the
his
actual
feet
name.
or on his ass or whatever it is. But yeah, Bowser's great. The Pokemon trainer was fun. Was that the GameCube version or was that the Wii version?
It was the Wii, I think.
Yeah.
We had the Pokemon trainer.
Where he had
for sure.
Charizard and
Yeah, that was the Wii. Okay. Yeah, that was a good character. I enjoyed playing him, and then I actually played the new version. We had a tournament the other night at a friend's place, and there were actual
awesome.
prizes up for grabs. I got second place, but that's because he had been playing the entire day before to unlock everybody for the tournament. So I came in fresh for it. So that's my excuse for getting second. But even so, we won. Do you know those little like Meebo things that they have now?
Amiibos, yeah.
Yeah. Even though I don't even have a Nintendo, a Wii U of my own, I still have one of those now. I got Star Fox, so it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's sweet second place prize.
He's one of those characters I could never figure out how to play right.
Yeah.
I was awful with Star Fox. I need someone with a Wii U to be my friend. So if you're watching this and if you live in the state of Minnesota or Wisconsin, because I'm close to the border, let me know because I'm going to come to your house and I'm probably going to play your game and eat most of your food and probably destroy your toilet afterwards. So
Yeah.
That's a really open invitation. I don't know who would want to not take that up.
Yeah, who would deny that? Who would
Come
deny
on
that?
over. Clog my fucking toilet.
Who would deny that shit? Literally.
I got it. Jim.
So my characters, since you didn't ask.
Hey, let's keep talking about something else.
Perfect. No, I really liked. I call him Breast Cancer Awareness Captain Falcon.
What the?
Because
The pink and white
I
one.
always change.
hell is that?
Yeah, I always change Captain Falcon's color scheme to pink and white, and I only will play Captain Falcon if he's Breast Cancer Awareness Captain Falcon. I really like I played the Wii one the most, so I really like you hold down R when you pick Samus, and then she is the zero suit, and you can start as a zero suit, and then you can collect your armor, and yeah, I always like that. And I like Falco Lombardi a lot.
Yeah.
Actually.
Could you imagine if Samus was a guy in the zero suit, just has his crotch sticking out? His big old dick sitting there out of the leotard?
Falco's a dick.
Falco Lombardi sucks to play against sometimes. And then Meta Knight too. I like Meta Knight.
Meta Knight is, man, he's hard to beat. If somebody picks Meta Knight, he's so hard.
Because he's cheap. Because I'm terrible at fighting games. So like when I first heard about Smash Brothers, I got excited because I was like, oh, finally a fighting game I might actually be kind of fun to play instead of just being destroyed every time. And it really does solve that problem. It's the fighting game for people who might not be that good.
And everybody plays Link.
Yeah.
1,000 links.
Because of all the items around, like, it's really a crapshoot sometimes. Even the best players can be defeated by a fucking Pokeball that is thrown at the right time or something.
Stupid hammer.
Yeah.
Or the hammer. Yeah.
And the attacking those, and that was new to the Wii version, I think, where you attack those like power balls and they give you your special.
The final smash.
Yeah, your final smash. That's pretty awesome. Like that shit gets crazy when those come out. Everybody's after that shit, and you're just jumping around. People committing suicide, jumping over edges, trying to get those balls.
Yeah.
What else? Smash Brothers.
When they were like slowly revealing characters, what was the one that got you the most excited? Like when they're doing either for the Wii U or the Wii one.
I thought I wasn't like super excited for it, but I thought it was really cool when Sonic was first announced.
No, I'm just kidding. I was hoping when they did the Wii, I was hoping for Mega Man, and then they never did Mega Man. So I was like, yeah, we got him finally. I was excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Mega Man, the Bowser like kids are pretty awesome. Like it's one character you can just change their skins on, and it's just all of Bowser's children inside of that like floating airship thing, whatever that's called.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They play pretty fun.
That is awesome. Did they ever? So I haven't played the Wii U one, so I don't know if they've like what all they've done with that one so far, aside from some of the characters. But have they ever put in any kind of incarnation of Majora's Mask for Link? Because that would be amazing if they did that.
I played it for just a few hours. I don't know for sure on that one.
Man, that'd be so cool if like Majora's Mask was like an item or something. That'd be sweet. Or if they even had a
assist trophy.
They even had like a level of like Clock Town with the big moon.
Yeah.
And like the moon's kind of like coming down, and that's like, you know, as the timer goes on, you know, it gets closer and closer. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some music from it in it. I don't know.
It should be.
I know
It's like the
they did
best
some
Zelda game ever.
they did some Majora's Mask stuff for Hyrule Warriors.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
I haven't played that either.
yeah, me either.
That
I don't have a Wii U.
Me either. That's friend invitation is still stands. Jim's coming now, also, not literally.
Well,
but maybe.
But he'll be going to your house.
But Chris will still be shitting in your toilet and destroying it.
Yes. So
just to
stock up
preface
on
that.
toilet paper. I prefer Charmin Mega Roll, the ultra soft kind with the bears on it.
Of course, bears.
See what I did?
But
when you shit 4 times a day, you need that extra padding.
That's about right.
gonna wipe it raw, Chris. But the Hyrule Warriors is
Just all day.
Hyrule Warriors is pretty awesome. I have played that one. If you like Dynasty Warriors, you'll like this game.
So, are there any characters that have not been in Smash Brothers yet that you want to see in Smash Brothers? Or are there any in there now that you think should not be there?
I'm just glad they got rid of Ice Climbers. Fuck them. Ice Climbers were fucking stupid as shit. Like, and it's not even like a beloved, like, old thing that people were clamoring about. It's like, oh, Ice Climbers? Who the shit are those?
Mr. Game & Watch, they can take him out and I wouldn't give a shit. Make him an item or something. I hate when people play him. It's just the most annoying animations. I don't care about that character.
I feel the same. I think that one should be out. I also think, I get that it's fun to put like different versions of some of the characters. Like you have Link and then Chibi Link, and then you've got Mario, Baby Mario, Dr. Mario. Like that's cool, but that's way more Marios than I want in my game.
That's kind of Nintendo's bread and butter, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
So dumb. And then there's like, how many colors of Yoshi? There's like 1,000 something. That I don't care about as much, but man, if the playable characters are all the same character but just different versions of them, I think it's old. So
I think I'd like to see the like Hammer Brothers like be in there as a playable character. Maybe together even.
Yeah.
Like just have both. They can take the place of the fucking Ice Climbers, like you were talking about. Like be the Hammer Brothers and actually be decent and loved.
Throw hammers, yeah, hammer on.
Hammer time.
The characters that I want to see the most will never happen because they no longer have the rights. But I want Banjo-Kazooie in that game more than anything else because that would be ridiculous.
So Banjo is the bear and Kazooie is the bird?
The bird that hangs out in his backpack.
Yeah.
And
is he the word?
Yeah, bird is the word. Bird is the word.
And he's hanging out with the bear.
Yes. But I mean, if you've played those games, I mean, all the moves are right there. I mean, they pretty much can just mirror like the same moves he has in the game, and it would fit in like absolutely perfectly with Smash Brothers. And I think it would be a great character to have. I mean, it's basically one character that has a second character that's more of an accent because, Kazooie pops out of his backpack, the wings come out, so it just kind of gives him a lot of versatility as far as like what that character could do. So I think that'd be awesome, but Microsoft owns them now, and that's
Won't
done.
happen.
I don't think they're even making games with him anymore. I think after that last one, I think that pretty much killed it.
Oh man, you know who would be fucking awesome from the Nintendo franchise? I don't know if they have still have rights to him or anything, but Captain N, the Game Master from the cartoon.
Oh, dude,
you remember that?
That would be fucking sweet and stupid all at the same time.
It'd be ridiculous, but
he'd have the zapper and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. There's a couple characters I would really love to see in Smash Brothers. Earthworm Jim.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was just thinking that too. That is a good one.
He can have snot in his backpack for some of his moves and stuff. That'd be
That's
awesome.
good.
I loved Earthworm Jim.
What was that? There was another game that was like came out around the same time and was just as Was it Booger Man?
Booger Man? Yeah.
That was Sega Genesis.
Booger
though.
Man.
Yeah.
He'd be an
Yeah.
interesting one to have too.
Yeah, he was on Genesis.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if that did that. No, that came out on Super Nintendo. Because
Yeah,
I remember seeing
they
it
did,
in Nintendo Power.
Yeah, I
Oh,
played
did it? Okay.
Yeah, and then like most people, we all want more representation from Super Mario RPG. So like Geno or
yes.
Mallow would be
Oh
fucking
my
awesome.
Fuck yeah, that'd be
Geno
awesome.
especially, but Mallow would be great too.
Yes.
Have those Power Ranger like characters at the end of it as like a
Oh my-
special move.
Yeah. They could-
Oh yeah,
that'd be
was it
Axum Rangers or
Yeah,
whatever.
the Axum Rangers. Yeah, that's
Those
right.
are-
God,
She was awesome.
that's probably one of my favorite games of all time. I play it like at least once a year.
Well, shit. What about Chrono Trigger, man? They can put Chrono Trigger in there too.
Yep.
That's true. I'm playing that right now. Actually, I'm at towards the very end right now, like right before I go to Lavos.
So you say, Jim, you're not a big fan, or you're not good at fighting games in general?
I'm just terrible at them. I'm not. I don't know what it is. I'm not very good at remembering button combinations. So
I'm the same way.
it's not very intuitive for me for some reason.
I still
Yeah.
like them, but I'm horrible at them.
I admire people who are good at them. It is a skill that I don't possess.
I can tell you, if I can get through like Street Fighter on easy mode, man, I'm throwing parties. Like,
Okay.
Seriously.
it's exciting. It's an
Yeah.
event.
Okay, that's worse than I thought. I mean, I'm not great at fighting games or anything, but like I can hold my own most of the time. Like I love the Marvel versus Capcom games; those are great.
Those are fun. Yeah.
And most of that's just seeing those characters brought to life and playing with them. Spider-Man specifically.
Yeah. I
Venom.
can tell you,
yeah.
the one fighting game I actually did pretty well with was the Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters.
Oh man, I have that fucking game. Like we need to play that one day.
I totally forgot that game existed, but I remember back when I got Nintendo Power being super fucking excited seeing pictures of that game and being like, because at the time I didn't get a Super Nintendo until really late, so I was just excited that it was coming out for like both NES and Super Nintendo at the same time. I was just like, oh yeah, fucking Turtles, And I remember renting it and not being super impressed with it, but having some fun with it.
It just had such a
Go ahead, Joseph.
it just had such a weird like array of characters in it. Like it's hard to get into it, I guess. I'll tell you what they should do is a Ninja Turtle Dynasty Warriors type game. They did Hyrule Warriors.
Shit, yeah.
So just do Ninja Turtles now. It's perfect. They need expendable like armies of things. That's what the Foot Clan is. Fuck. Just throw the Foot Clan in there, make it all just make it a Turtles in Time type Dynasty Warriors Ninja Turtles game, and they're just going through the decades doing shit, fighting shit.
They could make Ninja Turtles 3 not shitty by making it a video game that actually you actually care about.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the worst fucking movie ever.
Oh, it's terrible.
All right.
So which before we quit, which was the first Smash Brothers you guys played? Because I came in late. I know my I didn't have a Nintendo 64 for a while, and I think the one I played the most was when Brawl for GameCube came out. So what? I mean, did you guys? Chris, you said you played 64 one a lot.
Yeah, I literally picked it up the week it came out and still have it and still play it.
Yeah, I definitely came in on the 64 version also. Like, I don't know if I had it at first, but I know some friends of mine did, and we played the shit out of that.
I remember we had a couple of friends that had a 64, and the one we played the most was GoldenEye, obviously.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
To the point where I could close my eyes and know like the armory level. But yeah, I came in late, I guess.
What I remember most about GoldenEye is just climbing up in that one level in the bathroom like vent. Yeah. I don't remember what was up there, but I remember hiding up there for whatever fucking reason.
I think I remember. I think I picked that game up from a used game store a year or two ago, and I haven't played it yet. I'll have to find out if I actually got that or if I'm just making shit up because it sounds fun. We actually, I know Jim, you've got it because we played it at a party that you had a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I just remember I played against your wife, and she was not happy because I destroyed her.
Yeah, she's usually the one to kill people, and yeah. But then that's why she's like, that's it. We're playing Mario Kart, and then she just destroyed everyone.
Exactly. She switched straight to Mario Kart after.
She's the weird ass person who her favorite track is Rainbow fucking Road because she can go through it and do it almost perfectly.
It's almost
she
as
loves
a Ghost House.
Right?
Ugh.
Fucking Ghost House. Oh.
Did you play have either of y'all played the new ones? The Wii U Mario Kart 8, I think it is?
No.
The last one I played is 7.
8's so good.
My 2-year-old son plays 7 sometimes.
Oh shit, he's probably
because he gets a hold of my 3DS, and I watch him play, and I don't even know how he gets to the game because he goes right from the menu and he figures out how to get to the game, and the next thing I know, I just see him like hitting a wall, just like standing there in the wall. And one time, he somehow got online and was holding up an online match with him. Like, he would time out because he was taking so long and all the other racers would finish. And I'm sure the other people were going to get so pissed.
Oh, man.
His generation is going to be so much smarter than we were when we were kids.
He picks up a tablet. He just knows what to do. It's crazy.
It creeps me out when kids know, like, the swipe gesture stuff. And I still don't figure that shit out. I just figured out on this computer that I've had for a couple months now. I just figured out in our last episode as a touchscreen. So
that was so funny.
There you go.
Oh, it's a touchscreen.
Did you buy this? You didn't find this somewhere?
Yeah.
But if you took a kid to it, the first thing they would do is go for the screen. Be like, oh, this is obviously a touchscreen.
The first thing the kid would do is like reprogram it.
And then get online and hold up a match.
The little like 3-year-old would be like, oh, I installed a Mac system on your Windows computer.
I installed Linux, so I don't know if you're used to using that.
So I could play old Lucasfilm games.
I want to play Lucasfilm, LucasArts Dune.
So we're not talking about Smash Brothers anymore.
Yeah, I think at this point we've pretty much wrapped it up. So
off the rails here.
That's gonna happen. I mean,
that's the beauty of podcasting.
I'm not criticizing.
I'm halfway through my 6-pack, so it's gonna happen.
So we have a part 2 now, where we have 2 fictional characters, also pulled.
What's that word?
They're also pulled randomly, and they're gonna fight to the death. So Chris is going to randomly pick those, and then that's going to be the next episode. So once we say who they are, we would love for you guys to go on their Facebook, their thing, and chime in to who you think would win and who you think would it's like set the scene too. This isn't just like celebrity deathmatch and they fight for no reason. Like, well, how would they meet kind of a thing. Have fun with it. Who do we got, Chris?
All right. Are you guys ready?
No, but
this is going to be a really interesting one. So we've got Darth Vader versus the Shredder.
Oh, shit.
Shit. That is fucking awesome.
I mean...
Yeah, that's going to be crazy.
I mean, that's samurai versus samurai.
Pretty much.
Basically.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, I got a boner.
That's what's knocking against the table.
Yep.
All right, so that's gonna be part 2. We're good to go.
So this is part 1. So I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
I'm Joseph.
See you guys next time.
See ya.
This was Nerds on Tap. If you like what you saw or heard, make sure you follow us on that Twitter thing that all the kids are talking about, at nerds_on_tap. And don't actually write the word underscore. That's not how Twitter works. And of course, we are on that Facebook thing, facebook.com/nerdsontap podcast. Thanks for listening. Nerds on Tap is part of the BS Excluded Network and the Slurred Nerd blog on Tumblr.